Hi there, back with a new review, and this time it's for The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. Now, this book is centered on a family. There's mom and dad, and two children. Erica's mom, dad is John, an architect, and so there's the siblings, Hannah and Liam. Now, they're in their early teens, so they're in this age where teenage attitudes and things like that. So the daughter, kind of separates herself from the parents. Everything they do is uncool and she's annoyed. But not so for Liam. He's more of, still the same as, he was younger, does what his mom tells him. He doesn't mind getting a hug when he gets dropped off. He's like the perfect child, so to speak. And so he seemed to be the mom's favorite. Hannah now has a bit of an attitude and she's not doing well in school. And so just the regular teenage attitude, which is completely opposite from Liam. But anyway, even though Liam's a really bright kid, he's smart, he's good looking, he's a little weird and a little creepy. And the guy, he doesn't really have very many friends. Well, not close friends anyway. There was one guy that he used to be friends with growing up. And so they kind of fell apart, I guess, grew apart in a sense. And the excuse was that now they had different things that they were involved in because he was doing track, and then of course that guy was in football and stuff like that. But anyway, the impression we're getting that is that he's kind of really weird and does weird and says weird things. Um, One of the things that happened, which caused his mom to be concerned, was that when he was younger and in kindergarten, he was playing with another little girl. And so hours later, they were looking for her and he knew where the little girl was and he never said. So they had been looking for her for hours and finally found her in like a janitor's closet, and she was, tied up and, bound. And so she had been traumatized for that. And because of that, now he ended up having to see a therapist or a psychologist. So the mom had been worried ever since that, and some things that he had said growing up just led her to believe that he's got psycho tendencies and could potentially be capable of danger. So over the years, as he coming into being a teenager and getting involved or showing interest in girls, the mom's really scared about what he might be capable of. So she would hire a private investigator to kind of, shoo the girls away, by whatever means to get them to, leave him alone or break up with him or no longer see him. So now he likes this girl named Olivia, or she likes him, but it seems like he likes her too. And so they chat and they were supposed to meet up. They met up after, one of his debates that he had at school in a group setting. So her mom came and picked her up at the end of the night. And so she went home and he went home. So later that night, I believe the same night, she heard like, somebody throwing rocks at her window. So she thought maybe it was Liam. She's all excited. And so that's where she ended up, you know, um, being going missing. So it seemed as though Liam was involved because, of course, he's real creepy as far as the people who are associated with him, acquaintances. And then he's one of the few people who had seen her. He ended up being arrested for her disappearance, although they didn't find her, but there was evidence in his mom's car that she was in it. And so he went to jail. In the meantime, she's not really dead, but she's being held captive somewhere. And occasionally she's brought food like bread or water. Nothing substantial, but ultimately it seemed as though whoever had kidnapped her is bringing less and less food. And she started, to kind of get into pretty bad shape. So um, ultimately, Liam is in jail, and then he ended up getting bail and was able to come home, but still had a trial that was going to be going on. So anyway, we later found out who the person was that had kidnapped Olivia, and I tell you what, my jaw fell to the floor. I couldn't really believe it. But anyway, when they discovered who it was, Liam ended up being a part of the rescue and helped to rescue her, Olivia, and then her sister was involved and had to be rescued as well, and so he became the hero of the story. So all's well that ends well. The book was, great. I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. The plot was really good. And the whole thing was a quite interesting storyline. So I was enjoying the book and I'm like, great, 4 stars for sure. And then towards the end of the book, there is another twist to the whole thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, this book is so good. I hope that they will do a sequel to this, or it seemed the way it ended that there's potential for that for sure. But if they do end up, I'm sure it's going to be really, really good. So I definitely give this book is actually one of my favorite books that I've read or listened to this year for sure. It's at the very top of my list. So if you have read or listened to this book, let me know your thoughts. Until next time,